you guys are coming out. It's hot here.
Tell us about Doomsday.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read the script. Can you imagine the trouble I would get into?
We get into so much trouble if you talk about my first question, I'm going to kick things off, and then we're going to turn to fan questions since we have so many. I know you probably can't talk much about the final season of Stranger Things, but...
We got some Stranger Things fans in the audience.
Curious to know, we finally got the culmination of the will they, won't they with Joyce and Hopper, and I'm curious how that will inform a lot of the choices that you make in season 5, in broad strokes.
Okay, so Stranger Things, season 5, final season of this beloved show that we all love so much. It will be ending. If you don't know, this is just like technical data. 4 episodes Thanksgiving, 3 episodes Christmas, and then they'll make you wait and they're gonna ruin your New Year's Eve for the finale. But hopefully they'll release it at like 6 p.m. or something, and then you can go out afterwards. We'll see. Yeah, so we've shot it. We shot it all last year. It took a year to make for 8 episodes, which is a very long time to shoot a television show. It's extremely cinematic. It's extremely big. Like, I think if you watch the show and if you're a fan of the show, you've seen like each season get progressively bigger. Season 4 being the biggest. We had like, a lot of different locations out in the desert. There were helicopters and stuff. There was Hopper in that gladiatorial combat pit with the Demogorgon and stuff. All kinds of Creole Vecna stuff in this weird upside down world. And season 5 is like 5 times the size of season 4. It's just, the scope and the scale of the production was immense. It almost killed all of us shooting it. But we are still around. But yeah, I mean, fundamentally, I also think what the Duffers were trying to do was to wrap up, a lot of what we call the OG storylines. The cast got kind of sprawling, and then we, people that really watched the show from the beginning, there were a lot of character arcs that we wanted to complete and make sure there was a very satisfying payoff for. And one of those was, of course, like Hopper and Joyce. Right from that first season, I mean, they, had a weird relationship. Clearly they dated in high school and then lost touch with each other, and they each got married to different people and had terrible marriages, and came back together and begrudgingly had this, kind of tension between them where they clearly loved each other but also couldn't stand each other. And so, yeah, I think that season 5, we'll get to, in terms of Hopper's storyline, the 2 biggest storylines for Hopper are going to be the Joyce piece, which is obviously very big, and people really loved it, calling it Jopper, and got really into it. Very sweet to have like young kids care about a middle-aged couple. I think it's quite hilarious. Like, can't you go look at Timothy Chalamet pictures? No, it's very sweet. And then, of course, the other huge relationship arc that needs resolution is going to be Hopper and Eleven, which you saw a bit of their reunion at the end of season 4, but we're definitely going to dive in and give you a hell of a payoff for that storyline.
And now we're going to turn things over to the fans. I see we have one ready to go. Walking to the microphone now.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. I'm about to fangirl all over the place. Can personal experiences, you don't have to get personal, obviously, but personal experiences that informed your characters that you play, any characters that you play,
Yeah,
not
sure.
necessarily Hopper.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I love acting. I've always done it since I was 5 years old, and I played the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. Thank you. Like some of you have seen that before. But I really loved what acting allows you to do, because it allows you to tell the truth through a mask. So it allows you to not have to be yourself, and yet you can tell the truest expression of what you feel it's like to be on this earth, or to experience being a human being, right? But you don't have the burden of being like, nowadays a lot of people are sort of personalities or influencers on the internet, and it's all about them. And I hate when it's about me, because I feel like when it's about me, it's not really about me. It's about...
I hate to interrupt everybody, but everybody, a huge round of applause. Matthew Modine!
What's up, Tampa?
Stole my thunder right in the middle of my sincere answer about acting and the nature of reality. But anyway, no, I was just saying that, like, I don't know, I'm curious your take on this too. So acting to me is like, I'm allowed to be more myself than myself, because I feel like when it's actually about me and my life, my personality, I don't actually express my feelings as richly as I do when I'm wearing a mask of a character, and I'm allowed to actually express something. I find myself to be able to express something more deeply. You don't feel that way?
I don't even understand what you're saying.
Here we are.
Hi, David. Yeah, I don't... Acting is really weird. It's really, right? I mean, it's... you put on...
I love it. Don't you love it?
Oh, it's great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. You get to wear other people's clothes. You get to meet the most extraordinary artists from all kinds of different backgrounds, whether they're costume designers, set designers, writers, directors. You get to travel to these extraordinary places, and so it's a wonderful opportunity to learn. That's what I love about it, and I think that's what we're here on this planet to do, is to learn about one another and to experience life as deeply as possible. So through these characters that David has so beautifully portrayed over a 30-year career now.
I started when I was 5. I was just telling them about my performance in The Wizard of Oz. So it's been a 45-year career.
The first time I saw you was in London on stage in Tennessee Williams' play. I think it was Tennessee, wasn't it?
The Albee play, or Who's Afraid of Evil? Man?
No. Was it Tennessee Williams? No. Night of the Iguana or something like that?
Love to do it, though. You've seen me do that part, because I'd love to play that part.
It was so good.
But anyway, I mean, I guess that what the question was about, like, what I use to express these things. And I think that, like, I guess I would say in a general form, it's the wackiest or most unacceptable parts of me. I get to allow myself to be, I've talked about struggles with mental illness and things like that, and feeling weird and feeling like I don't belong, and feeling like uncomfortable in my body, or that, like, things like that. And those things, James Dean said that if you take your neurosis and you put them into a character, it can be quite beautiful to watch, because you get to watch someone be vulnerable. But like, to walk around with it, it's kind of annoying. So it's great to be able to use all the things that I don't like about myself and pour them into these things, and have people have compassion for characters, because that's what I want to do.
It's a
Great question. Thank you.
I wanted to say thank you for being such an advocate for mental health. And yes.
It's my pleasure. Thanks.
My question is, I had to write it down because I was nervous. What was it like working with a cast made of mostly kids, seeing them grow up, basically, and how is it different on set now that they're adults?
You answer that.
The first day in season 1, the Duffer Brothers and Sean Levy, the producer and director of many of the episodes, were so excited that I was going to meet this young girl, Lily Bobby Brown. They said she's really wonderful, and she was 11 years old, and she's a child. And when they were ready to shoot, they said, "We're ready. Do you need anything?" She said, "I just need a moment." And she kind of went someplace and focused, and then she took her hand away, and she said, "I'm ready." And man, was she ready. There's an expression that they use from old Hollywood. They say the it factor. And Millie has it, and as do so many of the children that are on the show. So for me, I didn't really work with the other kids, as you know, but working with Millie was a great pleasure, and it's been wonderful to watch her grow up and become a woman. To officiate her wedding was. They wanted David to do it, but he wasn't available.
It's annoying. Those brats are horrible. And they just get worse and worse. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's hilarious. It's very weird, though, I have to say. Like, even for that first beginning, because I remember being like, for me it's a big break. It's like you're in a Netflix show, you're the lead of this time, and then you're around, like, you're doing takes and you're around 12-year-olds who are like, "You farted!" Like, this is my break, and like, you guys are gonna fuck this up for me. Pay attention. But I am, they're great. They're really great kids, all of them. And, this season in particular was quite beautiful. I wasn't shooting on the last day. I keep worrying about stuff I'm gonna get in trouble for. But the last day, when you're at my character's funeral. Joking! I would never reveal something like that. Oh my God, Collider. Don't write that, Collider. No, on the last day of shooting, it was a bunch of the kids, and I wasn't shooting, and I had stuff to do, but I was like, no, I'm gonna go. And I went, and it was pretty adorable. Because, I think one of the most beautiful things about the show is the fact that these kids all grew up on this show. And a lot of you, if you're younger and you like the show, you grew up with them. Or you have kids that watch the show with you, and you're like the parents of these kids. I feel that same sort of thing. So I was there that final day, and just the amount of crying. It's like when your kid graduates from college or whatever, and you're so proud, or your kid, whatever. The amount of tears coming out of these children, the amount of it was pretty beautiful. So it's been like definitely like a roller coaster ride.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you so much. I brought my entire family, including these two guys right here. And as you were speaking about, they're just turned 12 today. But Matthew, this is specifically for you. Do you recognize them?
Are they my children?
They spend enough time with you, you could probably think that. This is 16 and 17, Ethan and Oliver. We didn't know that you were going to be here, and my wife caught it on Facebook, and she's like, "Oh, we should go," and I'm like, "Yes, Yes, we should. So it is their birthday literally today, 12, but they are huge fans, of course, obviously, of the show. Season 4 is the best. But I think that the one question that they had was, are you sad they are now dead?
Yeah, I'm not responsible. Brenner is not responsible. Wow.
They got big, didn't they?
Yeah, they were very confused because they thought that Dr. Brenner, me, was going to be really mean and that it was going to be really scary. And I think they were very confused because obviously I'm a nice guy. And so, is that, ask them.
Oliver?
Yeah.
And Ethan.
Did I frighten you when we were on set? No, I was a really nice guy.
They actually all remarked that you were actually ridiculously nice. Spent time with them, did pictures like with your camera and like this, and that's all we did was hear all the nice. Because I didn't go, my wife was there for the 2 months that they were filming. But
Collider, you can write about all that.
But no, they said you were so nice and so sweet, and you helped them a lot, and they thought that it was awesome.
It's nice to see them again.
They were disappointed that they never got to see you because you were out filming other places. So. Anyway, thank you so much.
Hello. Hi, David. I wanted to ask, is there anything that you learned during the show that you learned about yourself that you didn't think you knew about yourself while filming?
Yeah, you guys are asking all the hard questions. I was told there'd be no math.
Sorry. My son loves you. He's sitting over there.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's like, hey, I think it's like you just, you know, the kids grew up on this show, but like I also grew up on this show. It's been 9 years that we made the show, be 10 years. We shot, we started in, what was it, like August of 2015? So, like the amount of stuff I've learned just going through, you know, maybe we went through COVID together, but we just went through everything. The show changed my life in terms of being an international presence in the world. I had never had any of that, so I had to learn a lot about that, being in the world in that way. It taught me about relationships and about people and about acting and about all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was a huge growth time for me.
On behalf of the world, we just wanted to say thank you for your work and thank you. I'm a parent and I learned a great deal about mental health and you trying to be a parent again and show that passion for trying to grow your children and other people showing you care. So thank you for that.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. I'm really excited to be the mouthpiece of the world.
Hello, my name is Oliver, and my question is for David. I was wondering what your relationship with Winona was on set, and what was your favorite scene to film with her, like during the show? Like, what was your favorite?
I mean, that woman's like amazing.
I know. You can tell.
There's like, yeah, there's so many. I mean, I don't blame you. Like, there's so many diehard Winona fans out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta say, I have a different relationship to these people than you have, because you're a child. And like, I was, like Matthew Modine and Winona Ryder were movie stars when I was a child. So like, I was going out to the movie theaters to see Beetlejuice, the original Beetlejuice, when I was like 17 years old. My friends, we were going to the Hawthorne multiplex and seeing Beetlejuice, and I was just like absolutely in love with this young actress who was just the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And it's like so talented and dark and funny. All the characters she chose, like in Heathers or Beetlejuice, just these dark, angsty kids that I related to. And I was like, oh my God. So I grew up with quite already a projection of her. Mm-hmm. So, when I first met her, like I just loved her so much. And then she just lived up to every ounce of that. She's so intelligent. She's such a unique person. She does have her own versions of, I I'm not gonna call it dark, but like a vulnerability to her, and she's just such a unique person in the world. So I can't really choose a scene that I think is my favorite, except there is a scene in season 5. Yes, go ahead, Collider. Joyce and Hopper have a scene in season 5. In the 25 hours of Stranger Things that you're gonna get in 8 episodes, we do have a scene. Maybe even several, but there was one scene in particular that I really did enjoy shooting. And she's just one of these actresses who, like, you know, there's some actors who you work with, I don't know if you feel this way, but you work with and off camera, you don't really care if they're there or not. Because like when they're coming on you, sometimes there are actors that you work with that you're actually like, could you, you gotta go do something? You gotta take that phone call, it's fine, I'll do it. And because you have more of a connection, or you can summon up whatever it is you need to summon up on your own. And then there's some actors that just unlock you. And it's like, I mean, and I did find that in the Marvel, when I work with Florence, like if I'm doing off camera without Florence, I'm not good. And Winona's the same. It's like when she's there in these scenes, there's something about looking in her eyes where it just becomes so electric that I can't do it without her.
Well, that's so amazing. Say hi.
You know, you don't know this. I did a music video with Winona. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's you know the singer Roy Orbison? So he wrote an incredible song called A Love So Beautiful. And in the video, the music video, I'm a clown and she's a trapeze artist. Why are you laughing? It's really good, yeah. Love So Beautiful. Google it.
Next up.
This is for Matthew. So, I watched the movie Birdie. What was it like filming that movie?
That was an incredible movie. I auditioned for Nick Cage's part. And I was working in Toronto with Mel Gibson and Diane Keaton on a movie called Mrs. Soulful. And Alan Parker called me up and he said, congratulations, you're gonna be in the movie. And I said, are you gonna change the character's name? And he said, what do you mean? I said, am I gonna play Al Colombato? Am I gonna play an Italian American? Or are you going to change his name? He goes, no, you're gonna play Birdie. And I said, no, I auditioned for Al. And he goes, yeah, but you're gonna play Birdie. And Birdie was such a fragile character, you know, I'm 6'3", and it didn't physically make any sense that he would want me to play Birdie. And I'm not a religious person, I'm spiritual. I believe that we all have the placebo effect. The placebo effect works, therefore the placebo effect works. And I got down on my hands and knees and begged everybody that had ever been misunderstood or beaten up by life, suffering from post-traumatic stress, to help me to play that role. And I'm not kidding you, I felt like a rush of souls came into my body and lifted me up and guided me. I don't even feel like I played Birdie. I feel like I was manifesting for all of the people who were Birdie. It was pretty special.
All right, what is your guys' favorite season of Stranger Things?
I like season 1. It was very simple, and we didn't know what the upside down was, and we were all struggling, and Joyce said to save up money to make copies for, see if she had enough money to make copies for the missing poster for her son that was missing. I mean, there's some very beautiful small town stuff in there that I thought was quite moving, and there was a lot of mystery still.
Okay, thank you.
show. What was your reaction filming the first and last season of Stranger Things?
I can't talk about the last season. There's a love scene between Hopper and Brenner.
Yeah, but something happens to Matthew Modine's character in season 4, which sucks for him. Shooting the final season of Stranger Things, as I said, was actually extremely difficult because they really did not hold back with the fireworks display. And that stuff takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. There was a lot of nights. There's a lot of, it was a very difficult season to film, but so the feeling was that it was like, like you're trekking to the Arctic to see the North Pole or something. As Santa Claus. Go back to the North Pole. You finally get there, and then once we got there, like the last month, there was a euphoric sort of family, like, whoa, we did this thing for 10 years. Really together.
Hi, my name's Chaz. Question for both of you guys. You guys are both so ingrained in like nerd and pop culture at this point. I want to know what is both of you guys' childhood dream franchise that you would like to be a part of or even reboot, as obscure as you want to go with it?
Has anyone ever said you look like Jack Black?
No chicken jockey.
It's a great compliment.
I know, he's a sexy man.
I just worked in King Kong Godzilla X King Kong Supernova. That was pretty exciting.
Oh, to work with Godzilla, that's like the best crossover.
I did a movie, I don't know, a few decades ago now called Jack and the Beanstalk, The Real Story. And I was in my trailer waiting to go to work, and I thought, geez, it's two hours. Like, why am I not working? It was the day that I was supposed to climb the beanstalk. And they said, no, we have a double climbing the beanstalk. And I was like, no, I did this movie because I want to climb the beanstalk. And I was really upset about that because the child in me thought I was really going to climb the beanstalk.
And go why you signed up?
Yeah, and go see the giant. I think that's how, that told you actors it's a weird job. That I actually thought I was going to climb the beanstalk.
Like a childhood wonder for you forever.
Yeah, and I don't know what I was going to say.
That was cool.
I wanted to climb the beanstalk. So when I was working on Godzilla King Kong, that's what I was going to say. I kept waiting. I was like, wait a minute, Godzilla's not here in King Kong. I'm looking at Godzilla and King Kong as if they're there. And when you go to drama school, there's exercises you do where you come out and you have to see things that aren't there. And so so I was having to pretend that Godzilla, and I did the movie because I wanted to meet Godzilla.
Yeah, so you want to make a real movie with a real 500-foot lizard that breathes fire.
Forget the giant, just have Godzilla at the top of the beanstalk. You can climb that.
There you go, look at that. I don't know, it's so funny, like for me at this point right now, I'm kind of interested, I mean, whatever, I love this world, and I'm going to shoot the sequel to Violent Night in like 4 weeks. I love the genre world, I love the sci-fi world, but I do have like an HBO show coming out in January, which will be very adult. So I'm sort of looking to do some more stuff that that deals with the problems of a middle-aged man who doesn't have to fight monsters. Who's got his knees are hurting, and
I feel it.
he can't stick to the diet, things like that. Things that I grapple with, as opposed to Demogorgons.
Yeah. I want to say you're a great Red Guardian, and you are a great choice for Hellboy.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
What does that mean, adult? Does that mean we're going to see you in your underwear?
You're not gonna like it. It's a comedy. It's a dark comedy. That's why we put me in my underwear.
Hi. What was your first paid job as an actor? It's for David.
Oh wow, that's a great question. Okay, so I did something called rep theater. So summer stock. So I went to school, I went to college, and my freshman year of college, I really wanted to be an actor, and so I auditioned for something called the New England Theater Conference, which was the NETC. So you went into an amphitheater, and there were 50 or 100 people, and you did a monologue, 2 monologues, a minute each, and then theaters would call you back, and I got hired at the Theater Monmouth, which was in Maine, and we did 4 Shakespeare plays in floating rep for 3 months, and I got paid $50 a week, and they gave me room and board, and the $50 was to buy beer. And it was, and I remember, I'll tell you a funny story. So like, I dated a girl who had done TV in LA. She was doing a TV show, and I talked to her, and the producers of that show were like 50-year-old guys. And they were very successful television producers. And they said, oh my God, your boyfriend's doing theater in Maine for $50 a week. That was the most fun I've ever had as a young person. I was so mad at them. Because I was like, I'm like broke, and I'm not doing anything real, and you guys are doing TV, and you're big shots, and like, how could you condescend to me in that way? And I can say now as like a 50-year-old TV guy, that like, that was the most fun I've ever had.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Luke, originally from Pleasantville, New York. So I have New York questions, one for each of you. David, first off, I know you're from White Plains. What's your favorite place to go? White Plains, and then for Matthew, what's your outlook on the upcoming Knicks season?
Knicks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they fired the coach though. Why did they fire that coach? Dumb. You can quote us, Collider. See, we get tickets though. My favorite thing to do in White Plains, come on, bro. That was like 20, 30 something years ago. I used to go to the Galleria Mall, which I don't even think is there anymore, but when I was going, it was like kind of scary, and I loved it. And I would go and like, just go to again, what can we relate on anymore? Like I would go to CD stores. Like I would go to Tower Records at the Galleria Mall. Huh?
I collect vinyls.
Okay, it's coming back around maybe. But yeah, I'd just go to the Galleria Mall. But I worked at a pizza shop in Pleasantville delivering pizzas. I was terrible. We didn't have Google Maps back then either. I would always get lost, and I would show up at your door 3 hours late with a very cold pizza. Yeah, I was a very bad delivery person.
Matthew?
Well, Indiana lost their guy, and Boston lost their guy. So the Knicks have a pretty good chance unless we lose our guy. It's a horrible tear. You know, I apologize about the socks. It was 6 o'clock this morning when I left New York City, and I just reached in and put socks on. I didn't really notice that I was wearing orange socks. With Jalen Brunson, I just wanted to stay healthy, and I hope that we made some trade to it. What's the coach's name? Brown. His name Brown? Mike?
Yeah.
Mike Brown, yeah. He's a good coach, right?
Yeah, he is.
So, fingers crossed we make the playoffs. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Very fun question. Next up.
Hi,
character, any other character from Stranger Things, what character would you want to be and why for both of you?
I mean, I've said this before, but I'm in love with Steve Harrington. I want to be him. I want to be.
It has to be 11, you know. I mean, I want to, because the child in me is going to think that I can do all this stuff. I'm going to make trucks fly through the air and break people's arms. You know, the funny thing about it is, people always say Brenner's a bad guy, but if you think about all the people that 11 has killed, I'm just saying.
You've been on this tip for 8 years. About what a good guy, with a redemption for Brenner cake.
Thank you. Question, next up.
So I know that you guys finished. I know that you finished wrapping up season 5, and I was just curious, was there anything that you took from the set that you probably shouldn't have?
You know, in season 4, have you seen season 4? So you know how I pick up a sword at the end and I slice off the devil's head? That sword is an exact replica of the Conan the Barbarian sword called the Atlantean sword. And they had 3 rubbers of them, but they're big, heavy rubber-like swords. I stole one of those. It's in my house right now, on the table. I walk around on the phone with it in my hand, swinging around, doing business.
I, of course, didn't steal anything because stealing is against the law.
Very fun question. Next up.
Hi, I'm Isabella, and I was wondering, you both can answer. What was one of your favorite scenes to film during the whole show in general?
It's your question.
Yeah, it's your question. I can only think of my least favorite scene to film. It's a very brief scene, but in season 4, since we're going to talk about season 4, Hopper runs to the church where he finds the peanut butter and stuff. But he's busted out of the thing, he gets the shackles off his thing, he doesn't have any shoes on, he gets on that thing, goes over the thing, and then he ditches the thing and runs to the church. We were in Vilnius, Lithuania. It was 20 below, and there was snow on the ground. And they had like weird hobbit feet for me to wear for wide shots. But this was a close shot that they were gonna track me or something. I had to run through the snow up to this church, fumble with the keys, get in the thing, and close the door. Man, I have never experienced pain. Running through the snow several times in bare feet at 20 below degrees, I do not recommend it.
Thank you.
What was it like in the Upside Down whenever you filmed it?
You ever in the Upside Down?
I was never in the Upside Down.
You're standing outside and looking at the big hole in the lot, though.
Yeah, I'm the person responsible for the Upside Down. I don't want to go there. I want to send people to go tell me.
There's that great sequence in season 1 where you send the guy in the rope in, right? And you're like, keep going, keep going! My Modine impression. Oh, keep going! And then he like gets eviscerated, and the rope just comes back, dead rope.
Oh, bloody.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, so shooting in the Upside Down is weird because, you know, there's spores in the Upside Down? You know how the film gets kind of grainy, it gets a little darker, and there's these like white spores, and that's why everybody is wearing masks, or like you see Steve in the final thing, right? And when I was in there, so right before they shoot, you know, you're in there, they put some fog in, they roll the camera, and then a guy comes around with a little fan and a bunch of like dandelion stuff and just sprinkles it right in your face. And they go, okay, and action, and a piece always inevitably lands right in your eye, and you work with that, and then immediately it goes up your nose. And you're like, oh, God, let's start again. It's very hard to shoot the upside down because of those spores. Is that what you wanted to hear? It's not what you wanted to hear. It's so cool. I feel like I'm like doing what Modine with the Godzilla. The real life Godzilla. Walks away disappointed.
And you will be our last question.
Last question. Oh, I like this.
That was my daughter, by the way.
Is that your daughter?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry I ruined her perception.
Right there, teenage son. I have 5 daughters and one son, teenager. Is there a book for parenting?
It's called.
There was the book that Dr. Spock wrote, and then after he had children, he apologized to everybody because he got it all wrong.
My therapist told me a funny story. He said he was going to write a book about parenting, and he was going to call it Nothing Works.
Yeah, I get that.
That's true.
One more question for David. Is the Tin Man gonna...
That was the last question, I'm sorry.
It continues. Will the Tin Man get his heart from Joyce?
What was the question?
I mean, look, he's bringing it back to my early work.
Okay.
5 years ago, White Plains Kindergarten.
It all goes around, right?
I do not want to spoil it for you. I will tell you that I've said this too. Episode 8 of season 4, we all sat around and did a read-through, just the cast, and I have never seen so much crying in my life. Not always bad crying. There's just crying to the perfection and the beauty of it all as well. But it is definitely, this season will take you on a ride of all kind of dimensions, and will put people in the places where they need to be. And it felt satisfying because there were things throughout the show, even in season 1, that I sort of knew couldn't exist, can't exist. And it feels right this season, but it also is very moving. So I don't want to say either way, whether it's Hopper wins or loses, or this person, this or that. I'll just say that you'll go on a ride, and I do think you'll feel satisfied with the endings of all these different characters. I do think that these guys, there are other shows out there where you don't feel that satisfaction, or you feel like let down. I don't think you will feel that with this. I feel like you will have satisfaction that these characters are who they said they were in the beginning, and they deliver.
Well, I'm rooting for the Tin Man.